Is the dynasty of the Golden State Warriors done for good?
Everybody has an ending to the story, and I think that we're starting to see
the end of the Golden State dynasty.
And I see a Golden State Warriors that look depleted, that look like they're just tired, and look like it's ran its course.
But the win in question.
Why do they keep failing? Game.
Curry with the ball. Puts it up.
After game.
With 5 fouls. Monk drives on it. Monk hangs. And he scores!
This is the closest ever in the whole history of the last 10, 12 years where you could say, is it over? Yeah. Does it look like we're approaching the point that it's over?
So this one hurts way more than the Sacramento game.
You shouldn't lose a game, you're up 23 points.
After the Golden State Warriors lost their 22-point lead to the Los Angeles Clippers last Saturday, their dynasty is starting to get doomed. Their season record stands at just 9 wins and 11 losses, and in their last 10 games, they've only managed to snag 3 victories. You see, Golden State has struggled to keep up their game in the full stretch. They've lost multiple 20-point leads in just a week. That's definitely not the mark of a team playing winning basketball all 4 quarters. Even though Steph Curry has been on fire this season, averaging 29.1 points per game, he can't do anything about the problem with his teammates. During the offseason, the Warriors brought in CP3 and said goodbye to Jordan Poole. Okay, say whatever you want to say with Poole, but last season, he brought in an average of 20 points each game, playing in all 82 games. And yeah, sure, he wasn't always the picture of efficiency, but you could rely on him to score when the team needed it most, even if it wasn't always the smoothest shot, which CP3 can't ever do. See, Paul only hit double-digit scores in 8 out of the Warriors' 17 games this season, and in 6 of those games, he scored a mere 6 points or less, including a total of just 11 points in the last 2 games. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against CP3. He's a wizard when it comes to setting up his teammates and making those crucial plays. But let's face it, age is more than just a number. It's affecting his ability to consistently create shots for himself. And even when he pulls it off, his stats tell a story. He's made only 40% of his field goals and 32% of his three-pointers this season. Most importantly, he was sidelined due to an injury in the last couple of games. And don't even get me started with Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins. Once an All-NBA player, Thompson is now hitting just 15.7 points per game, with a career-low field goal percentage of 40.6%. Another dude that's worth mentioning is Andrew Wiggins. He's only managing 12.8 points per game, shooting a dismal 26.7% from the three-point line, 43% shooting rate, 1.2 assists per game, and 60% at the rim. Again, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Wiggins because he's not always like that. In 2022, Wiggins was nailing it with 40% in three-pointers and a cool 74% at the rim. Come on, in just one season? From 74 down to 60% at the rim? What is happening to Wiggins? Is this cracked rib from LBJ's Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals still nagging him? Well, we can't figure that out right now. But what we can figure out is if the mood will change completely when it comes to Moses Moody.
Moses, I don't know what to say about Moses. He makes every hustle play. He's knocking shots down. He's competing at a high level. He's defending at a high level. He's doing everything that you'd be asking for in a third-year guy.
Moody was on fire in the fourth quarter against the Sacramento Kings. While the rest of the team was struggling, managing only 2 out of 17 shots, he's nailing shots left and right, scoring 11 points, including 3 jaw-dropping three-pointers, pushing the Warriors ahead, all in just 7.5 minutes. So it's almost common sense that with the game hanging in the balance, Coach Kerr would let Moody keep his magic going, right? Well, Kerr does the complete opposite. 29 seconds later, Coach Kerr swaps out Moody for Wiggins. Kerr has always had a soft spot for the veteran players, but this loyalty might be a double-edged sword. On one side, it honors the seasoned Warriors who've battled through thick and thin, but on the other side, it could be holding back the young guns, the team's future, from shining their brightest. But more on that later. This move has got the media and fans thinking about whether Steve Kerr is really the right guy for the job, because this is not a one-time phenomenon. The same scenario happened with the Golden State Warriors against the OKC Thunder last November. The Warriors are ahead by 3, just 1.6 seconds on the clock. And this should be an easy win. If they foul the inbound pass, then we're good to go, right? But Kerr decided to do the complete opposite. OKC managed to shoot a 3, leading to the Warriors losing in overtime. Now, as I said earlier, Kerr's loyalty to the veteran is another problem because it slows down the development of their young players. Their roster is getting up there in age. Chris Paul is 38, Steph is 35, and both Draymond and Klay are 34. Plus, the top 7 players are all over 27 and average 32 years old. Just a few days back, Podziemski and Moody were warming the bench, but with some key players nursing injuries, Podziemski and Moody are back on the court. Going back to Moses Moody, he was already showing us some serious skills. He's out there on the court, shooting with 58% effective field goal percentage, hustling hard, grabbing rebounds, and chasing down every loose ball he can. In other words, Moody is shaping up to be a cornerstone for the Warriors. He's like a puzzle piece that perfectly fits the Warriors' culture. But with all that being said, Coach Kerr played Anthony Lamb more for most of last season. Lamb is a decent player, no doubt with that, but he was on a 2-way contract, and it was pretty clear that he wasn't part of the Warriors' long-term plan. So why not give Moody more time on the court? His stats were almost a mirror image of Lamb's. Moreover, if CP3 and Gary Payton Jr. didn't have any injuries, Moody would probably have been sitting his ass on the bench against the Sacramento Kings last Tuesday. Also, Brandon Podziemski's 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists with 39 minutes on the court in their game against Minnesota made Kerr say Podziemski will play every night.
Had before.
He's going to play. He's going to play every night. You know, he's earned that.
But with the Golden State Warriors facing the Sacramento Kings, Podziemski played 0 minutes. Another prime example of Kerr's inability to develop young players is Brandon Pinsky. Pinsky's shooting over 40% from 3. He has a solid effective field goal percentage, and, like Moody, he's hustling for every ball and rebound. Plus, he's only 20, and he looks like a vital part of the Warriors' future. But Coach Kerr continuously ignores Pinsky's potential. So, is it reasonable to say that the dynasty of the Golden State Warriors is gone for good? Well, let's look at the Warriors' pattern here. Remember last season's first 20 games? The Warriors kicked off with a 10-10 start. Everyone thought they'd bounce back and chase that championship, but instead, they just barely dodged the play-in tournament and then got knocked out in the Western Conference semifinals. Fast forward to now, and our Warriors are sitting at a 9-11 record. So, what do you think? Will the Warriors dynasty come to an end? Dunk your thoughts in the comments section below.